Good morning, good morning, good morning, you lovely lot. I have had a bit of a lay-in today. I mean, I did let the dog out and feed the dog and the cat and what have you first thing this morning. And then I had a cup of tea and took it back up to bed for a little bit, dozed for a little bit longer. Finished off my editing and I'm now heading out to do some study. I need to go to the library, so I'm going to walk down to the library now. Lee's going to come over this afternoon with the dogs, and then we're going to take the dogs all out for a nice walk together at some point this afternoon. And then I'll be picking Kenzie up a bit later as well. So that is my plan of action for today. The weather's meant to be really, really nice. I've not yet seen the really, really nice weather. It's meant to be like 19 degrees, sunny. That's not what I'm seeing through the window. So we'll see if that magic happens at some point. But for now, we're going to head off. Okay, well, temperature-wise, it doesn't feel too bad, I'll be honest. I'm not seeing the sunshine, but it is really mild. Don't do harm. Lee's just driven past with the dogs in the car coming to see me, and their little heads went, ooh! Popped their heads out the window, got all excited. But they were at the traffic light, so they couldn't see me. Well, they couldn't get to me. Hello, my boys! Hello, hello. I'm all muddy. Rhubarb's made friends. Lee's come and we're walking all our dogs together. It's very windy. Go on then. In you go. Go for a swim. Does that feel good? The boys are like, what are you doing? Why would you go in there? They won't join you, they're big glibbies.
She enjoys that.
She loves it. Get off the table. How rude.
Yeah. No, I'm fine, thank you very much, thanks.
It's 2:30, and as you saw, I bumped into Lee. He was coming into Tame to meet me, and he pulled up just as I was walking back to the house. So I haven't spoken to you properly, excuse me, since then. I've literally came in, grabbed the dog, and then we've been out for a couple of hours. We took them over to the field for a run, and then we found out that it was quite waterlogged in the places that we wanted to get through onto the track, so we came back up over the bridge and onto the nature reserve, and then we went onto the Phoenix Trail, which is the old railway line, and then walked down, went over to Monkey Puzzle for our cup of tea, our latte and the dog's treats. And then we came back via the town, popped into the pet shop, popped into charity shops, and now everyone is pretty exhausted. So Rhubarb's going to sleep well, the dog's going to sleep well, they all got on fine. And yeah, I think we've worn ourselves out. Anyway, Lee's gone home with the boys. I'm going to pick Kenzie up in a couple of hours, and then I will stop him for a cup of tea before I come back here for the night. And then this is my last night here. It's been really nice, and this is going to sound very strange, but sorry, just noticed the plates on the wonk. There we go. It's going to sound really strange, but it feels really lovely to, when I see Lee, it feels like we're dating. It's that kind of making the effort to spend time with each other, even if we're just watching TV or we're going for a walk. But it's that kind of, we are making that effort to come and see each other and be together for a period of time. And it's not about all the other things that we kind of do around each other. I really like it. I thought it might be difficult being away from home, but I think it would be very good for our relationship actually, because it feels like we're dating, and that kind of freshness and newness of seeing each other, at least I feel, is there. What are you doing? I got treats for the dogs, and I've forgotten to give Lee the treats, but obviously the cats found the treats. We got them some charcoal bones, thinking that it might just, if we gave them one, it might just help with their stomach. Well, a little bit on the wonk, aren't we, on this one? Anyway, I thought I'd change location, mix things up a little bit. So the other thing is I've rejoined the library. They didn't have a lot of the books in that I wanted. In fact, I couldn't really find any books on farming whatsoever. So, as you probably saw, I did find loads of books on the local area, and two of them I have had to leave there because they were reference only and I couldn't take them out. But the one was super helpful, and she showed me how to use all of the systems there and told me all the new things that have probably have come about since my boys were very little and I used to take them to the library, because it's been a really long time since I've actually been to a library. So that was really helpful, and I thanked her profusely for her time, and she said, welcome back to the library. So I can order some books in if I can think of particular reference books for my course. I can also read magazines online, which is really helpful. Which is really helpful for free. And they do audiobooks for free. So there's a lot of things that I can do that I hadn't even thought would be part of my membership. There's an app that I need to download. So she was incredibly helpful, and I really enjoyed just sitting in the library taking notes. No one wants to see your bumhole. Taking notes from this book, which I'm going to share a lot of the interesting history of the area with you guys in different videos. And bearing in mind I grew up in Tame, it's really nice to proper deep dive into the history of some of the buildings that I've seen. There's so many really lovely buildings, and I walk past them every day and say, oh, they're pretty, but I don't know the history behind them. Some of them, well, a lot of them to be fair. So I'm just paying a little bit more attention to the local area and the town that I grew up in, and I will share it all with you. Hopefully you will find it as interesting as I. Tail whacking me. I haven't eaten anything other than a chocolate muffin and a protein yogurt. Could you please remove your butthole? What was that noise? That was the dog. So I'm going to give the dog a charcoal bonio, and I'm going to make myself some pasta for lunch, and it'll actually be like lunch, dinner. Linner? What would you call it? Linner? Something like that. There you go. Have a treat. I've made myself some pasta, same as yesterday, bit of parmesan on it today. Got my notes, reading through my book. I have many drinks to choose from, and this book, which I will show you later, which I picked up for £2.50 at the charity shop. Not a bad bargain, I must say. the issues of a vlogger who also house sits, trying very hard to study some interesting information to share with my viewers. And this little darling has decided to sprawl over my book and stop me from doing any sort of historical study whatsoever. What did you bring in this morning? And leave the guts on the floor for me to clean up? Because it was hard to identify just by its intestines, heart, stomach and liver. It's nearly 5:30 and I am picking Kenzie up from work. So I'm just waiting for him in the car park. Oh my goodness, it suddenly got very cold and I've got a bit sleepy. I think I might have been, I don't know, it's probably the fatigue from my nice walk and all that fresh air I had, and then sitting down and having some pasta, filling myself up and then trying to do that reading and stuff. I'm finding it really fascinating, thoroughly enjoying it. It's not what my coursework is. It's not at all what my coursework is, but I can get the books for that. So I've got to look at what books I want and then order that stuff in. But having said that, it's all practice for research, which is kind of what the mission was, to do a bit of research. And what I'm finding out is I'm going to do so many videos on Tame, the history of Tame, because I've just been so fascinated. And I don't know if you lot will find it as fascinating, but it's one of those videos which we kind of call evergreen videos and searchable content. People are going to potentially search for these things and go, what is the history behind Tame, or what is the history behind the church, or what is the history behind the prebendal, or like all of these different things, or, you know, what was that building? So those are the sorts of things that people might search, where they don't tend to search for a daily vlog about a certain thing. Which means that those videos will also bring in more revenue for me in the long run, because they are more likely to be searched for after the initial sort of 24 hours of bringing views in. It's the sort of thing that will get pushed out and pushed out and pushed out. The more it gets seen, the more it gets pushed by YouTube. But I'm going to bring you information about Lord Williams, who is the Lord who the school is named after, the secondary school is named after. I'm going to give you some really interesting information about how he is connected to Queen Elizabeth I, and I'm going to tell you some interesting things about a poet, Yeats poet, you know, W.B. Yeats, and his connection to Tame. I'm going to tell you so many things. I'm going to show you the Tithe Barn. I mean, some of these things you will have seen just on my walk around, but I've probably gone, oh, that's a nice building, I like the woodwork, or I like the structure, or, you know, and now I'm finding out what those buildings were and what their history is and what they've been used for. And I'm literally only maybe 10 pages into my research. But what's happened is I'm researching things through the book that I've got from the library, and then that's making me search on the internet for more information about that. And so my research is then sort of expanding by using different books and different sources and what have you. It's kind of taking me down little rabbit holes, and I'm just finding it absolutely fascinating. And the good thing is I can actually do this, park my bum somewhere for a period of time and research it. It's keeping me occupied and my brain occupied without me thinking, right, I need to go and do this and I need to go and do that, and I should be here and I should be there. And because I'm not at home, I'm not thinking I should be doing housework, or I should be cleaning out the geese, or like the billion and one things that I feel I should be doing when I'm at home. I'm not having to do while I'm house sitting and pet sitting. I mean, obviously I've got to go and walk whichever pet I'm looking after. Like the dog, obviously you wouldn't walk a goldfish, would you? That would be ridiculous, but you know what I mean. And there is an element of housework, because, you know, I want the house to be at a certain level for everybody coming back from their trips. They don't want to come back to a messy house, do they? So I like to keep it at a level. But it's just, yeah, it's something to keep me occupied while I'm at these house sits, and I feel like it's doing something for me. It's like I'm really interested because it's the town I grew up in, so this kind of little research is really fueling me. Yeah, I'm going to turn into a history buff. I mean, I do find things interesting history wise, but it has to be relevant. Like, I just find history a bit boring when I have nothing to connect it to, when there's no relevance to me directly. That makes me sound incredibly narcissistic, doesn't it? If it's not about me, I'm not interested. That's not what I mean. But it's easier, isn't it? Like, you learn about things you're passionate about, or you learn about things that you have an interest in. And this is the town I grew up in, so this is the town that I'm interested in. And so all of the history that relates to that is interesting to me. And then I find out that some king or queen or lord or somebody is connected, and I'm like, I want to find out more about them because I want to know how that history links. So then I'm learning about the wider history, and on top of that, I'm learning about how the roads were laid out in that town, and why some of the roads were the way they were, and why some of them were named what they were named, or they were named something and then it got changed, and why it got changed. So anyway, I'm going to stop waffling because that's like 5 minutes of me going at you, which you probably didn't need, so I'm sorry, but I'm, as you can tell, completely fired up about this. But for now, I think I'm going to probably say goodbye because I've probably filmed quite a lot today, and I'm not really sure what's usable because of the high winds that we've suffered today. So it's been really warm and really lovely, but there's been a lot of wind, and I've tried to film some things, so I might have to put some bits to music, like bits when we're out walking with the dogs and stuff. But for now, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, you lovely lot, and I'll see you tomorrow. And tomorrow is my last day here, and then I'll be going home to sleep in my own bed tomorrow night. I am going to miss this fire.